Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Vaulted Visions podcast, where I interview my interesting friends, coworkers, and people from the community about their careers, their business startups, and great ideas. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as williamlaterza.net for more content. Today is June 26th of 2020. I'm here with Zach Melwani. How are you doing, Zach?
Everything's good.
Glad to hear it. So I ask this question to everyone on my podcast that comes by, and that is, who are you today?
Yeah, I run the ship here at Melwani Marketing Solutions, and my job is to have a lot of fun and get a lot of things done, and that's kind of who I am right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're in the Melwani Marketing Solutions studio or office space. It's really kind of just like a dream space, like what you'd see in a movie. Just a whole bunch of lights, good decorations. It's honestly just a very cool work environment, and it's very nice and fun to work at.
Yeah, that was the idea, and I don't know if it's a question or anything, but that was the idea when we first designed it. We first designed it to just be in this first room, which we're sitting in now, and then it kind of grew into more of that as we progressed through our company's now 6 months history. So we were in here for January, February, and we kind of expanded into all of what this is today. So
It looks great.
And it was never designed to be this big or anything, but just kind of how it happened.
So let's talk about right now, and then we can move into more of the past.
Yeah.
So right now, what is Melwani Marketing Solutions? What all does it encompass? What's the process like? Just run us through, to the people who might not know your business, what exactly it is.
Yeah, so fundamentally we are a website design solutions company and a marketing company, and we separate them into those two categories.
What does each one do?
Yeah, so with the website design category, we use our WLM team, which is our website lead management team, run by my brother, and he does a great job with all of that, and shout out to him, and we can do all that too. But they run the ship over there, and what their job is to do is to find as many links as possible to a bunch of different companies that their website is either lacking or we can help. And we get these giant lists back from their teams, and that their technology that they build is incredible to get these lists. And then we reach out and we say, hey, we have a great product, we have a great price, our product is great, we stand by it 100% with our dev team and all that, and we make sales that way. That's the website lead management team. There's a couple more teams that help there, but that's briefly there. And then we have our marketing people and our marketing campaign, and I say marketing, but it's a bit more than that. We do anything that a client or a customer would need to help their business grow. So marketing to us is more than just a 5-day Facebook ad campaign or a YouTube video that we made. It's directly on paper, what traffic did we drive to a company, what sales did we drive, and we use those numbers to continue growing the company, if that makes sense. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's making content with the website team, and you guys do content stuff as well.
Yeah.
But it's also trying to find the back numbers, see what works, getting good statistics, and trying to make a better product for whichever client you're working for. And what is this process like for most clients that come in? How many clients do you have right now, if you're able to disclose that?
So right now, on contract, we're working with 5 or 6 different website projects right now for corporate companies that are on contract. We sign the deals. We're happy to work with them. I can't give you names or anything.
Yeah, of course.
But we have a bunch more products down the pipeline, and what I've been saying for a while is we're only 6 months old. We got this far. Now we have our process done. Like you said, the process is now established. We know it. So then now taking our process and using it is what the company's doing. So we have Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all these other platforms that we're using, Google Drive and our corporate partner, and using our connections there to make our process as simple as just you follow the steps that are outlined on our document, you run it down, and it's foolproof. And if you put the time in, you're going to see results on the other end. And that's the goal, and that's the philosophy of the process, without going into too much detail of what our process is. Because our process is, it took 6 months to develop with the help of our corporate partners and a bunch of other people. But just our process is really just no BS. Just you run down this list. This is how it works. We've done it before. It's foolproof. Replicate it. Now do it again. Do it again.
I know a couple of the people that work on your team, and although they're young, they're extremely tech savvy. And I think with this industry you guys are in, there is no like set degree you need, really, just more of tech savviness, having a good vision of how to make things work, and just like learning online.
And for sure.
And there isn't quite really a degree made for this yet. This is a very new thing, and it's a very real thing for businesses too, because advertising is everything for a lot of businesses, and making sure you have the strongest website, the strongest advertisements available, and knowing who your audience is all part of that, and you seem to cater to that fully.
It's all about directly what can we do to help our clients grow their business or grow whatever service they're promoting. And that's what hopefully our competitors and other people in the business are doing. But again, we're young, we're fired up, we're ready to go, we're very knowledgeable, and we're ready to do it at a lower price point that our competitors are doing it at. And at that lower price point, we're ready to do it at a higher quality than our competitors can do it at. We just got to get this past this little hump of we're a group of young kids. And that's sorry to go off on a tangent there, but yeah.
And you've grown a lot since then. Since you said you started 6 months ago. How did this process all start out with? How did you get the idea? Was there like a one night moment where you're just like, man, this is it? And then how, just give me like a timeline, basically how everything started and how you've developed this office space, this business, and developed yourself to be capable to do all this.
Yeah, it didn't happen overnight. And I hope that's not like anyone watching and it didn't happen overnight. But we started back in January, and it started with me watching a YouTube video just of something stupid. I think it was like, I don't even know what it was. And it was an ad for one of those, just those like Ty Lopez type guys. Those guys. And they're like, if you do advertisements, Facebook, blah, 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 speak fast, something.
Here in my garage.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, whoa. Okay. These guys are making money somehow. And and it wasn't like these guys are completely make it up, and there's got to be some legitness behind this, right? So we started doing a bunch of research, and we literally just started pouring through notebooks. What are people doing? How are people doing it? And then how are we going to do it? LLCs are how you first start a business, right? You need to have an LLC. You need to have a bank account. You need to have all these tax IDs. And so we're like, okay, we need this. We wrote right behind you, there's a whiteboard or a giant board, and we wrote down, this is what we need to do. This is the timeline to get it done. And we got, with success and failures, we got those things done. We got an LLC. We're now an LLC license. We pay our taxes, or we have to pay taxes now. We have an LLC. We have a bank account. We're a legit company, but we're fighting fires every which way, and that's again getting out of the process. But January turns into February, and we just a bunch of research. We started cold calling people, which I don't know if you know what cold calling is. It's just like, hello, I have an idea. We started calling personal trainers, and I would sit on the phone and I'd call like 15 personal trainers a day. I'd be like literally like, we can help you. Like I have people that like in every person. No. And my dad, who's been a great help in running this entire company, lives in California, so he's 3 hours behind. He would be, every single no that we got was one step closer to the first yes that we're going to.
You got to have some failures to get to the first success.
If we're getting 1 out of 10 success rate, which is great. If you can get a 1 out of 10 success rate, you've hit the jackpot, right?
Yeah.
But to get to that 1 in 10 success rate, you still have to hear no 9 times. So you get hung up on, okay, thank you for the no. That's my 7th no. I got 2 more no's to get my 9th. I'll get the 10th yes. You know what I mean? And that's not, in a perfect world, that's how that would work. It's not how anything works, right? But with that philosophy in mind, we kept trucking through January, February, and then in February we met our corporate partner. I was in a doctor's office, and I looked down, and there was a card. It's hanging up on the wall somewhere. I looked down, I saw a card, and it said OneCom Media, and it said what they did as a company. They were Google marketing, YouTube marketing, Facebook marketing. I was like, okay, this is what this is okay. This is what we are trying to do. So I gave the card to my dad, who was sitting there. I was like, this is the company. Like, this is what we want to do, and that was the end of it for me. That was the end of the card. My dad, who was just visiting from California to Mason, where we are now, took the card home to San Francisco and called the number. And Jeff, who is now our corporate partner, gets on the phone with him and goes, I don't want what you're selling, blah 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 blah, and hung the phone up. And my dad, not selling anything or anything like that, was just trying to maybe just set up a meeting just so we could maybe talk or do something. I don't know his agenda, right? So my dad calls him back the next day and says, no, Jeff, I'm trying to actually buy something from you. And he went, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, hold on. All right, hold on a minute. So I think Jeff felt bad and invited Cooper Shawnee, who's my finance guy and a great friend of mine who I've known for 3 or 4 years now, from a high school. I've just known him from high school. We went and we sat down with him, and I had a notebook, and we ran through what our company looked like at that point. Our company now does not look like the company it did going into that meeting. Going into that meeting, we literally were clueless, and I'm not saying that we didn't know what we were doing. We just were in the wrong direction. Our train was headed in the wrong direction.
Gotcha.
And Jeff says, okay, you guys could go this way. It's profitable. I see what you guys have here. Our theory made sense on paper.
What was your direction?
It was Facebook marketing at a scale of what we're doing now with our proprietary technology, but going after these smaller businesses at Facebook marketing and making ad campaigns for them. That was it. And then also maybe we can get you an email server with our then website developer, who's no longer our website developer. We could get emails through him. We could maybe sell something there. That was our plan. We said, okay, here, Jeff, this is what we're doing. He said, okay, no,
it seems very dependent.
Yeah, you got a lot of variables going. You got a lot of XYZs flying around. You don't want that. Let's go this way. So he showed us a route with website designs, and that's kind of how that things goes. And we developed a partnership. We speak on the phone a couple times a week. He's been great to us. We're thankful for the OneCom team and Jeff specifically for all the help that he's given us. And we would not be in this position today, I firmly believe, without the help from him and their team.
Have you always wanted to do marketing solutions type of stuff, doing digital advertisements and all that, or where have your passions always been?
So I just graduated high school, sports media and a lot of news stuff, and just working with Premiere Pro, working with Illustrator, Photoshop, and like, this is super cool. And being able to see if I put X, Y, and Z into the computer, X, Y, and Z comes out of the computer. I think that started way back when I was a kid. Like, there's pictures of me like on like Dell machines that are like super old, and like just like trying to make things work. And I remember like making things work on computers. But
was that through like making videos or what?
Yeah. So it's kind of embarrassing. When I was in probably the fourth, fifth, 6th grade, 7th grade maybe. Hopefully not. I wasn't that much of a nerd. We made Minecraft Let's Play videos. On old Mac that my dad had from his work at Salesforce and Yahoo, and we would record them with QuickTime Player, edit them in iMovie, and then post them, and they'd get like 30 views, and we thought that was great.
That hit the jackpot.
Like,
right
we
there.
thought a 4th grade Zach was like, oh wait, we did it, like 30 views, at that age, and even now, 30 views is great because it's a place to start, and you got to start somewhere.
And I think you developed a lot of good skill sets from doing that, as embarrassing as it might be.
Yeah.
Which I don't really think it is. But, like, you learned how to do all the basic fundamentals of starting online media, trying to drive viewer audiences and all that. Even, like, when you might not have known like how to do it. You were building the instincts to do so.
Yeah.
And that's incredible.
I think a lot of part of that is not because of what we did. It is because of what we did, but also because of how social media and that is shifting now. And I'm not like an expert on anything, or I'm just a guy in a basement with a laptop.
Learning.
You know what I mean? Just we're learning, like everybody. But we can see that the shift in advertising and marketing is coming away from who has the best advertisements to who can tell the best story and who can drive a narrative.
And supply that narrative to the best audience available.
And Facebook and those tools, those ad tools, are greatly factoring in and helping that, and it's super awesome to see. And I think that's how we started making our videos, those stupid videos when I was in 4th grade. That's how we kind of made our videos, just kind of instinct. That's how and that really is helping us now make our content more personalized and telling a story and more narrative-wise. Like the stuff I post on Instagram, which is just stuff we just having fun in the neighborhood. It's very short, 1-minute videos. But we tell a story from beginning to end. You can kind of ride a little roller coaster along. You can tell us a little story for the day, beginning to end. And we got really good at that, and we're not really good, and we're still learning how to do that. But
you're getting better.
Yeah, that ability to tell stories is helping us.
I think that's something that has recently shifted, is to not just for advertisement agencies or companies, as well as like people and influencers, is how do they tell stories better? Because back in the day, it was about what, like if you were to look at YouTube and what was popular in like say 2015, 2016, it was what was the best equipment.
Yeah.
Who had the best equipment, who had the best editing effects. And I think we're seeing a revelation or a renaissance pretty much back to how do you make stories better? Because people have already seen like the highest quality footage you can see. They've seen the best effects, but really it's more of what gets their attention is who has the best story at this point. And that runs not just for influencers, but also advertisement agencies and companies, is who
100%.
has the best story and who can tell the best story.
Yeah, I think just like a direct answer to that is who can tell a story that's never been told before. So having a story like this, where we're homegrown, we're doing things like we're trying to give back to our community and do a bunch of things, is a story that maybe has been told but hasn't been told in this medium. And that's what we're kind of doing here. And that's kind of answering a long-winded question, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Speaking of telling stories, one of the things that caught my eye about your business was your new ad campaign about your business. And I thought it had a very quirky style to it. I'm not sure if quirky's the right word, but it had a very good style to it that caught my eye. It seemed like you and your company was very personable, and you can see from every clip is like, this is a startup. We're a bunch of very motivated people willing to improve and learn, and you got this awesome
facility
studio.
To do
Yeah. Can you talk more about your ad campaign, what the goal is of it, what the process is like, how you're doing it, and what like the next steps are for that campaign?
Yeah, so I guess and I'm sorry, all of our ad campaigns kind of start in this book. It's like we write everything down, like when we want things to come out. And we're very particular on like what day, what time, what are we doing. And that information isn't really based on any factual data yet. Right now it's more we're posting, and then now we're going to get some data. Tyler Wirt, who is our analyst for data, he's going to look back and see what we're going to do. And that's the future. But right now with that ad campaign that we're doing, the focus is, it's quirky and personable, and quirky is a cool word, and I'm cool with it, cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The purpose of that post and that ad campaign is, I'm a human. When you call the number on our website, it rings my phone. When you email the info page, it goes to my email, Cooper's email, Tyler's email. It goes to all of us, so that we all receive this information and then put it back out. And if we can reflect the way that we operate as a business through our ad campaigns and get likes and get views and do what we are loving to do while we do that, then that perfect combination is what we're doing. And that's what you see on our pages. And that's not to say we haven't failed on our pages.
It takes a lot of failures to get something going right.
We were like back in January, February, March, we thought we were on top of the world. Like we were posting things like, this is cool. No, like
now you look back,
yeah,
and
we're
it's
like,
just
whoa,
awful.
what were we thinking? And even right now, in this time in our company's history, in a month, in a week, we're gonna think, whoa, what the heck are we thinking? And that's okay.
It's all about progression, you know. That's how it works. Like
Yeah.
I look back at videos I made a month ago. I'm like, man,
Yeah, what were we thinking?
Yeah, what was this?
And just that ability to do that on our Instagram and on our Facebook and receive positive feedback is what's really driving our narrative. And we have a really great supportive group of people behind this place and behind the company. On paper, we're a company of about 5-6 people, but there's so many more people than that. There's I don't know if I showed you, but there's a tuba over there hanging on our wall that says every single person that's ever worked down here or helped. And there's 28 names on there. And
got a great support
cast.
Yeah,
and people just calling us up and saying, hey, what do you need? Anything? And or like, things like that really has helped this continue to snowball around. And directly having those people and doing fun things with them with the company's involvement is greatly impacting what we're posting on social media, because it's that more personable. What do my friends, what do I want to do, and how can we post about that?
As me being like a consumer on social media, when I saw this, when I saw like steps of your ad campaign, I didn't really know you back then, and the image that I got was that this is a very personable group of people. It seems like you have a great story of being a startup. You're humble, but you're also trying to learn as much as you can at the same time. You're growing, and you're just making your presence known, I guess, to not just other companies, but to the public people as well, just people on Instagram and Facebook. So I really like that about your ad campaign so far. So you've had this business for about 6 months now, which doesn't seem like a lot of time at all, but clearly from this conversation you've demonstrated that you've learned a lot. There's been a lot of failures that you've had, but with that has came a lot of success too. And for anyone out there that's listening that wants to start a business, and this doesn't have to be related to marketing solutions, just about like entrepreneurship, starting something up, having an idea and formulating it into a business, what are some things you've learned, and what are some like tips of advice you could give to other people? So let's start off with what you learned.
What we learned, or what I learned the most, is taking the influence of other people and working with other people is like the most essential thing like that we ever started doing. Like it's the hottest thing since sliced bread. And being able to say, okay, my notes on my book are this, and this. Cooper's and Spencer's are this. Let's mold them together and create the best one possible and move that with that platform.
Does delegating have to deal with a lot, like making sure that you're not the smartest person in the room and the tasks you're giving off are to the right people?
Oh yeah, it's constantly, I don't have always the right answer. My last name and Spencer, who's my brother's last name, may be on the company, but delegating and making sure I'm not doing the numbers and finance stuff, because no way I'm going to be able to do that.
You can't do it all.
Yeah.
You got to swallow some pride and make
like,
sure.
Yeah, and just say, Cooper, I know you're smarter than I am at that. Go ahead. And being able to delegate and saying I am not right for everything, and saying the notes that I have here aren't right, and they're going to prove my notes right. You know what I mean? My friends, with their input, we're going to make this the best solution possible to go forward. And that's really, again, couldn't have gotten it done without friends and the people.
What advice do you have for people that are just starting a business up? What all, like, do you have any advice to give them?
Yeah, I think just to start is just to write down what it is you are. Like we started this podcast too.
Who are you? Yeah.
Who are you, right? And writing down, we did that. We literally wrote down what the company, what the philosophy was. We didn't really have a mission statement or anything like that, but we wrote down on a procedural level, this is the company. And then we looked at it at a large, up top scope, looking down below. How do we refine it? And just it was constant digging through that and just having the writing, and don't throw anything away. Any notes, pictures, videos, audio. If you got it, keep it. There's a folder like up there with the notes from when we first started.
You got some hard drives.
Yeah,
too,
and there's a
well.
bunch of hard drives laying around everywhere. There's computer parts laying around. I mean, that's another story. But we've looked back on footage. We've looked back on files. We've looked back on notes from that. We've already figured this out. You know what I mean? And just knowing that your idea at the beginning is not going to be the idea that you go live with, and maybe it will be, but it's once in a blue moon.
It's a good way to not only have like backup footage to use and backup stuff to like you never know when you could use that footage or those notes or parts of a project in the future, but also it's a good thing to look back 5 to 10 years from now. That's why I'm doing this podcast, is to interview people and see what life was like 5 to 10 years ago.
100%.
So it's a good way to just kind of store all that, have it for keepsakes. So your business is pretty much centered online. I don't think you've had any of your clients really come down here, and I think this is like a new era of online marketing. Is you're going to see more and more people making businesses out of their basement than trying to buy a prime lot in the middle of a downtown city, trying to get an office space there, because your work is virtual now, and the tools that you needed in the past aren't as heavily required. Now all you need is like your laptop pretty much.
Well, I think with COVID, and not to like go down a spiral or anything, everyone started working from home, which is cool. I really liked, that's all good. But with that came more people understanding that we can do work from laptops and at home and with desktop computers. The space that we have down here is super nice, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But we don't need it. We need a book. We need a book. We need a Mac and a planner or a computer or some way to access the internet. Facebook is free. Instagram is free. Microsoft Teams is free. Google Drive is free. Use your iPhone camera. You don't need cameras. You don't need expensive technology. We could do everything that we did on a Chromebook, right?
Yeah.
That you get from a high school or or Best Buy for $200, or you don't need big laptops or anything like that. So
you just got to be resourceful,
yeah.
And seeing that we don't need all this fancy big equipment around. We don't even need an office space anymore. As long as we got a few applications like Zoom to conduct meetings, we're able to minimize what we need to run a successful business. And you got to be versatile.
Yeah, and roll with the punches. Yeah.
And I think a lot of these businesses to come you're going to see them be more versatile, not just in the fact that they're working in suburbia or rural America, they're working in basements, and now they're working with minimalistic equipment. They're working with what they need to work with, not really what they want to work with. And also they're going to be spread out all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't need to have all 20 of your workers in the same office. They can be branched all over the place as long as they're getting the job done. My last question to wrap everything up is, where do you see yourself in the future, whether that be 6 months from now, because lots happen in 6 months for you. Where do you see yourself in the future, whether it be 6 months, 5 years, and then where do you see the business too? Two separate questions. Where do you see yourself and where do you see the business?
So yeah, like you said, two separate questions. If the business is still around, which it might not be, and that's okay. Like we've talked internally that we're giving it a bunch of effort, but this still might not work, right?
Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, and nothing is guaranteed here. So what I want to see the company do is I want to see us continue to grow and continue to work as hard as we have the last 6 months on our current product. We're starting to come out of development, like we've been saying on Instagram, that we were researching in quotation marks for 5 months. We're starting to figure out and rolling out our products now. So the last 6 months is not going to look like the next 6 months. So if you ask me this question maybe in December again, the company, if it's still around, then I want the company to continue pushing the envelope and working with more people and including more ideas to better Mason as a community, or whatever community that our shop or our company is located in, because I think that's greatly important, is giving back to our community, and a great place to work, and a profitable business. And if we can meet all three of those things in no certain order, then we have a successful business. For me personally, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't really know. College is coming up and all these other things, so we'll see.
You're just going day to day.
Yeah, it's day to day around here, and it's when I say living the dream, it's this is what I wanted to do.
Living in the moment, living in the dream, and just trying to improve yourself every day.
Yeah, that's
whatever
exactly
that may be.
Yep.
With that being said, we're running out of time here. Zach, it's been great having you on.
Thank you.
Really
It's been
enjoyed
great.
talking to you. Thanks to everyone that's been listening to this podcast. We'll have more episodes to come in the future. Hopefully you guys are doing well. So it's been real with you guys. I'll see you guys around. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool.